Page 29, this is an Etude, another Etude, a study piece. And this one has to do staccatos, thirds, and sixths. Well, that's a mouthful, so what's that all about? What's a staccato, third, and sixth? Well, hopefully you understand staccato. That's what we've been doing. It's a little dot thing. There's other symbols for staccato, but this is fine, and it's generally a short staccato. It doesn't have to be, but it does. It's okay. Well, the idea of a third and a sixth, we're talking intervals here. I don't know if we've talked intervals before, but let's briefly do it. If they're going to introduce it, you need to understand what's going on. An interval, simply put, is the distance between any two notes. Any two notes. Could be the first note of a piece and the last note of a piece. The distance harmonically. Let's go back to C major, because it's all the way keys. If I want to know the distance between this note and this note, how far apart are they? That's called the interval. What is the interval? It's simple enough. I simply count up. But the note I'm on is 1, because we don't start with 0 in music. We start with 1. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this that would be an interval of a sixth. A third is just every other note. 1, 2, 3. Those are thirds. Our harmonic system basically is built on thirds. So when you play a chord, you got a third here and a third here. And then this distance, in case you're wondering, on the chord, that's a fifth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now you can figure any interval out. If I go here and I want here, I want to know the interval between them. I simply count up, but make sure I start with 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. That's an interval of a 17th. 18, okay. Now I will caution you, when you're counting up, you're only using the notes in the key. So I was in C major, so I only use white notes. If I go to B flat major, that's got a B flat and an E flat in it. Those are the notes I got to use. So if I want to know the difference, the distance between this note and this note, I got to count up. 1, 2, but I got to use the notes in the key. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So that is an interval of a 16th. So make sure you're using the notes in the key. Otherwise, you get too many notes in there and the numbers get off and everybody's happy and whatever. I don't know. Just do it. And that's what we're doing here. Thirds is here, and the sixth is one more than 5. And what we're doing here is using those intervals in this piece in the right hand. You'll see it in the first measure. You're here. That's a sixth. And they're all sixths. They're all going up. The second line, you're here. Well, that's a third. And the second line, they're all thirds. That's really what this is. The left hand is just playing these simple chords. So, that's the intervals. Let's see what we got here. Look it over. It's 4 lines long. Treble, bass, clef. No sharps or flats in the key signature. We're in the key of C major. Make sure you can do the scale for C major. 2/4 time signature. We got eighth notes going crazy. Right hand first. And they want you to pretty much do 1 and 5 on all of them. And that's okay. It's good exercise. Forget the staccatos for now, just playing the notes. I mean, in a way they are staccato anyway, they have to be. Because I can't connect them. And if it's not connected, it's staccato. It's just not a short staccato. Now, as far as technique goes, when I do this, when I'm moving around like this, I'm really not focusing on 2 notes because I get off. I'm focusing on 1 note here. Usually it's a melody note, but for practice we do each. So a little finger. I'm focusing on, I'm aiming the little finger. Forget the thumb, just the little finger. Here. If I keep my hand in this position, the thumb should behave itself. Thinking about the thumb at all. I'm not trying to aim it or anything. I'm just leaving my hand in that position and letting the thumb go along for the ride. Takes a little practice, And make sure you're flexing the wrist when you do this. Don't start doing this and this because you'll tense up. The idea is I want to hold my hand in this position so I get tense. We don't want that. But if you'll flex the wrist, that fights the tension. That helps to keep you loose. Go as slow as you got to go. But that's what I'm doing. And then for practice, do the thumb. Aim the thumb. And let the little finger go along for the ride. I've been doing it forever, so I'm going a little fast, but you take it at your speed. The idea is I'm only aiming one finger, and the other finger is behaving itself, we hope, usually. Same thing in the second line. On thirds, they want 1-3 again. And that's okay. There's other fingerings, but we can just stick with this fingering for now. And again, I'm only aiming one finger, but when you're changing hand positions, you have to be careful. Now here, I'm not using the same two fingers all the time. That changes it a little bit. So here we have to be careful on the here. That's okay, but that'll come up. We change positions. Come back down. You got to get the hand moves in the right place. But otherwise, you're just using whatever fingers on the notes. Third line, you're up here, sixth again. Uh-oh, what happened to measure 12? No, they threw a curve. Now we're using notes not in the key, we're using accidentals. That changes things a little, because now it's not just in the same position. Here, we had to adjust now, we're off. If you have little hands, you can go ahead and use the thumb. Just be up here. If you got big hands, you got to do a 5, 2. Just practice that motion. Here, here, or here, here. I use a 1-4. If I'm going to use a 1, I'm going to use a 1-4. That way, the hand's in the same place. I just stretching the thumb out a little bit, and then come down. So it depends on the notes and the pattern and accidentals as to what I'm doing. But if I can, I'm just staying in one position, hand position, I'm aiming one finger. Left hand, where you're here, it's like a C chord without the middle note. Then the little finger comes down. Second line, treble clef, you're up here. And the third line, you're up here. I wanted 2. There's other fingerings, we'll just use this. I don't like it. It's just the idea with 2-4s, it puts you in position for what's coming, and that's fine. We can do with that. And then the last 3 measures is... I do prefer other fingerings for this, but again, we'll just stick with this for now. When I put the heads together, I'm going to hesitate. That's 5. The B in the left hand. Both hands come up. Well, you have a rest on the right hand at the end of the first line. You're holding the left hand down. So get the right hand up here, and then when you're ready, then you move the left hand. So I'm moving one hand at a time. From the second line to the third line, both hands are coming up a little. Right hand come up because it has a rest, and then I can just move the left hand up. So you gotta watch that because I got a C sharp E there. You gotta watch the hand moves because you don't want to mess up the rhythm because you're moving the hands. So once I put the hands together, then I'll go back over it maybe a line at a time or so and work out the hesitations. So it's a steady beat. Speed is not important right now, but no hesitations. Then I add the articulation. This is where the staccatos come in. I'm going to flex the wrist and they're short. So now if I'm going slow, I'm on the key and I'm bouncing off each time. That gives you a little more time in the right hand at the end of the line to come up, because it's short. You just up, move, and then after the left hand's done, then it comes up. That's basically the articulation. Now, if you're speeding it up a little bit, you don't have time to put your hands on the keys each time, you got to do that, but keep it a little motion. Don't go way up here. Just you get the bum, 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 bum. Then the dynamics applies to the melody, and for what little melody there is, it's actually in the right hand. So this is soft. This, very soft in the background. Second line, you get a crescendo, go up to, they don't tell you how far to go. You can go up to about a moderately loud or so if you want to. Right in there, a moderately loud. Then come back down. Now a moderately loud in the third line. Right hand, left hand soft. Last line, diminuendo. You're going to go down to soft, but don't get soft to the last measure. The poco allarg there at the allargando means slow down a little bit. That means stretch it out a little bit. Just don't do it a lot. No, the poco means a little, just a little bit. Yeah, let some notes over. The speed, well, they give you metronome marking, but it's got to be accurate. You don't have to play this just. That's your allegretto for now. That's fine. Now remember that the speed of the piece is not necessarily the speed of the beat. The tempo marking, yeah, it's the feel of the piece. So when you have a bunch of eighth notes and things like that, it's going to slow it down a little bit. The speed of the beat for a moderato in 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. It's moderato. Allegro will be super fast. Allegretto would be in the middle somewhere. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. But that's still too fast for the eighth notes. It sounds really fast when you play it, you know, that. So we're talking more of the speed of the eighth notes should be that 1 and 2 and 3. Even though it's a moderato as far as the beat goes, the feel of the piece is more like allegretto because of the eighth notes. That's my attempt at now. If I played it again, I'd play it differently, so don't copy me. You don't have to take it that fast. You make it yours and do what you can with it. I, out of habit, use different fingerings, so you don't need to follow my fingerings. You can use the fingerings in the book, it's fine. Remember the natural accents. 1, 2, 1, 2. I keep thinking this is in 4/4 time. It's in 2/4 time. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. When you subdivide a beat, each beat gets a slight accent. 1 and 2. 1, 2. You want to feel that. I exaggerate it so you can hear it, but you really just feel that. Let's play this together slowly and check the notes and the rhythms. I'm not going to do the louds and softs, just notes and rhythms. I will do the staccatos, of course. So I'll give us 2 counts because it's 2 beats in a major. Go ready and go and. And I'm going to put the metronome on eighth notes because there's eighth notes everywhere. Ready and go and. Rest. Rest. rest, rest,